So good morning, and I think I have the technology set up, a little more complicated today. So we're going to be working with the breathing. That's what the anapanasati is, where the simple rhythm of breathing in and breathing out is used as the through line, as the thread that goes through all our experience. It's kind of like the beat of the song that's always there, or it's the kind of like the ballast of a boat that keeps the boat steady. The breathing is the rhythm of breathing and the coming and going of breathing can support the mind to both develop a stability and also not to hold on to anything. And in fact, this part of the stability of the mind, it comes, maybe it seems like a paradox, comes from not holding on to anything. It's when holding on to things, being preoccupied, churning away, ruminating on things, that the mind becomes more unstable because it has an unstable basis, unstable foundation. And so the rhythm of breathing, coming and going, there is continuity there. There's a constancy there that supports us. It's always there for us. And because the inhale disappears, the exhale disappears, there's like a wave like coming and going. You can't really hold on to the breathing. And so it both provides us with this constancy, this stability, and a kind of a massage or support to not get caught in anything. We still might have thoughts, there might be sensations, all kinds of things might happen. And we can be aware of them. But with the breathing kind of at the center, or the breathing as a support, as a foundation, it comes and goes. It's a little bit more difficult for the mind to get fixated or caught on its preoccupations and whatever's going on, the emotions that are happening. And so it can be a gentling effect, it can be a nurturing effect, it can be a tranquilizing effect to do this. And for this meditation, I'd like to offer you something a little bit extra to pay attention to with the breathing, a particular quality of it, and that is the transition between breathing out and breathing in. The transition between breathing in and breathing out. And this is a place where just a little extra attention to. And there's different things that might happen there. And so this is where you can a little bit pay attention to how it is for you, and it might change over time. That at the end of the exhale, there might be just a very quick, automatic transition between breathing out and breathing in. It just boom, boom, breathe out, and then immediately the in-breath begins. And that can be noticed, how it happens, one happens immediately after the other. It might be the transition might be not so quick, it might feel more like it's gradual. The exhale gradually ends, and the inhale gradually begins. Or it might feel like there's a pause between the exhale and then the beginning of the inhale. And each of these has its advantages. Each of these is part of part of what we can notice. But there's something about noticing that transition in a relaxed and open way without expectation that completes the cycle of attention of breathing in and breathing out. And so we'll bring some careful, gentle attention to this as we go through the breathing. So to take a comfortable, alert posture, and gently close your eyes. And perhaps taking a few long, slow, deep breaths, full breaths, 3/4 full. And then as you exhale, a little longer exhale than you would just on your own. Breathing in deeply, deeply, and then relaxing on the exhale, releasing and letting go. Letting your breathing return to normal. And on the exhale, go through the little, almost like a ritual of relaxing the body. And as you relax, see if you can feel some quality of tranquility or peacefulness in the area that you relaxed. So as you exhale, relaxing the muscles of the face, around the eyes, the cheeks, jaw. And if you're able to relax those muscles, is there any evidence, any little, even partial sense of tranquility as part of that? And then as you exhale, to soften the shoulders, release the shoulders. And as the shoulders relax, in the shoulders, is there any sense of greater calmness or tranquility? As you exhale, relaxing the chest, the area around your heart. And even if there's agitation in that part of your body, if you're able to relax a little bit or soften, are there any even hints of tranquility, calmness? And then on the exhale, relaxing the belly. Letting the belly hang forward or settle down deeper into. Sometimes when we exhale, sometimes when we relax the belly, they can also support a relaxation of other areas of the body. And you might, as you exhale, both relax the belly And see if you can relax, or at the same time release the shoulders, the hands, arms, release the whole body. And then feel, is there any physical tranquility or calmness that you can pick up in your body as a whole? Even if you do feel something opposite to calmness, see if you can be attuned to that which does feel tranquil and calm. And as you exhale, relax with that calmness. And then becoming more centered on the experience of breathing. And in relationship to breathing itself, is there any tranquility or calmness? Or maybe around the experience of breathing, underneath it, behind it. Some feeling of calm or peace that's there associated with the breathing. And as you breathe, breathe with that calmness, breathe with the tranquility. And very calmly, without thinking about it too much, appreciate or notice how the physical experience of inhaling is different than the experience of exhaling. And then letting go of noticing the difference between them. Let the inhale just be the inhale. Allow the exhale to just be the exhale. As if it's the only thing that's here. And notice as you inhale, the inhale has an end. An end that fades away or an end which comes abruptly. And don't just notice and feel the physical experience of that ending of the inhale. And then observe the transition to exhaling. Maybe a little bit like you're driving in a car and along a flat road, and then there comes a little hill, a little bump that you gently lift up, and then over the crest, and you go down. Kind of ride the end of the inhale to the beginning of the exhale, the releasing. And then the same thing for the end of the exhale, beginning of the inhale. Maybe like driving along and there's a gentle dip in the road and the car goes into the dip and then slowly comes up. Or maybe the transitions are sudden, almost like a switch that goes on and off, switching from inhale to exhale, exhale to inhale. Both ways are fine. Gently observe how it is for you. Perhaps in doing this careful sensing, observing, maybe you can feel a quiet intimacy with the experience of breathing. Feeling whatever calmness or tranquility that's here. A tranquility that allows breathing to be as it is, comfortable or uncomfortable. But you just follow along in this rhythm of breathing. Seeing if you can feel any tranquility or calmness associated with any part of the breathing. And perhaps you can notice any calmness that might be there in the transition between breathing in and out, between out and in. A calmness that's closely related to allowing that transition to do itself with an intimacy, with awareness, breathing in and breathing out. Calmly receive the inhale in the body. Calmly release the exhale. And ride along in the transitions between these. A continuous intimacy, tranquility with your awareness of breathing. If you find yourself involved in thinking, what happens to your thinking when you place the rhythm of breathing back in the middle of your experience? And for these few minutes we have together, trust your breathing more than you trust your thinking. Center yourself on breathing and the body. Releasing into tranquility as you exhale. Receiving the inhale in your calmness as you breathe in. And before bringing this to an end, scan through your body to notice what is it and where in your body is there some tranquility, calmness. Even if there's places that are agitated, notice the places that are calm or quiet. And for a few minutes here, breathe with that tranquility. Breathe through it. Breathe along with tranquility, calmness, peacefulness. As if it's a gentle vapor that you can blow through your body, spread outwards throughout your whole body as you breathe. And then as we come to the end of this sitting, perhaps in a world that's so agitated, our calmness can be so that we don't fuel that agitation further. May it be that we don't add to people's anxiety. May it be that we don't contribute to restlessness. May it be that we don't reinforce agitation of any kind. And may it be that whatever goodness, benefit that we received from this sitting, may we dedicate it to the benefit of others. May in our calmness, may our benefits and merit spread out across the lands, so that all beings be happy, so that all beings might be safe, so that all beings might be peaceful, so that all beings might be free. May all being everywhere be free of all that oppresses. May all beings be happy. So, in these 16 stages, 16 steps of mindfulness of breathing, as I've said, that they are organized in groups of 4 called tetrads, and that the last step in each tetrad, the instructions are has to do with something in the family of letting go, or of freedom, or of release, whatever your language that you like to think of that is. And in step 4, it's calming the bodily formations. Sometimes it's translated as tranquilizing, and I love the word tranquil, but tranquilizing I associate with something you do with animals or something. So it doesn't really evoke a positive, obviously positive response for me. Bringing about tranquility of the body. In the 8th step, it's calming, relaxing, tranquilizing the mental formations, the mind. We'll see in a while that in the 12th step, it's freedom, release, releasing the mind, freeing the mind. And then in the final step of the 16 steps, number 16, it's something called relinquishment, which maybe it's a big word that doesn't really inspire so much, but it involves a real qualitative, transformative experience of freedom, of liberation. And so the movement towards greater and greater freedom begins with this simple thing of relaxing the body. And it's kind of beginning to learn the lesson of freedom. It's beginning to have a reference point for the goodness of what it's like to not be tense, not be caught. And I think for many people, it's a little bit more accessible, this physical relaxation, than it is full-blown liberation. But we're beginning to get a little taste of it, and this embodied taste of it. And most people don't associate, just simple physical relaxation with Buddhist liberation. But maybe there's, the liberation is kind of such a matter-of-fact thing. It's not, the greater liberation we have, the more it just seems seen as, I don't know if ordinary is the right word, but not such a unusual thing, or not such a otherworldly thing, in a sense. It's just a very profound experience of what we're beginning to experience as we begin to relax the body. As we begin to relax, as we begin to experience a physical tranquility. So, as you know, those of you who are following along, that I give a lot of emphasis on relaxing at the beginning of the body, at the beginning of the meditation. And relaxing, it's maybe a little bit too limited in describing the sense of tranquility that can come as we continue deeper and deeper into this anapanasati. But looking for tranquility, looking for the calmness or the serenity that can exist in our practice is said to be the support for greater tranquility. We're not making calmness or tranquility the be-all and end-all, but it's a wonderful foundation that begins to soften the hardness of the heart, the hardnesses of the mind, that we're stuck and things don't move. Tranquility begins to create a sense of safety, inner safety, where things begin to release more and more. And we're not looking towards, I like the word tranquility more than calmness in my use of the words, because calmness can lend itself to the idea of becoming too calm, so calm that you fall asleep. In my vocabulary, tranquility has an alertness to it. Tranquility is not just calm, but it's also kind of a harmonious energy, kind of energetics. And so this calm kind of aliveness, a tranquil aliveness that can be here in an embodied way. So I say all this as a way to encourage you to begin appreciating the influence that relaxation has. That in your daily life as you go about, if there are times when you notice your shoulders relax, your belly relaxes, you sit down at the end of a long day and you finally let down all your preoccupations and drive and momentum that you have, and you feel more relaxed. See if you can appreciate the influence that has on you, and see if you can maybe feel some of the initial feelings of a certain kind of freedom, a certain kind of release, a certain kind of no longer being limited or bound or caught in something. Feel what it's like physically. Begin to appreciate the small little movements of freedom that can be here. And as you get a hang of it, you might find that there's actually a lot more little movements of freedom, little movements of not being caught, that are happening all along. And that maybe often it's so easy to overlook because it's not valued particularly. Other things, getting something done, might be more valuable. But there might be a lot of little movements of just kind of, oh, that's great. You might step out of your house after a rainstorm and the rain has passed and the sun has come out, and something inside of you just kind of releases in that feeling of just being in the sun, being outdoors in the fresh air. And so what is that influence? What's that effect on you in the body to be there? And to appreciate it. Don't hang on to it. Don't get too complicated around it. But just kind of start feeling the little movements of freedom, little movements of release, of relaxation, of tranquility, of peacefulness that seems to emanate from the movements of relaxation, of ease that happen. And the more we start recognizing this in daily life, in meditation, in different places, it reinforces that movement. It reinforces the value of not being tense. It enforces the value of not being caught up in preoccupations or driven or bracing ourselves against things or closing down or trying to run away from things. It reinforces, it kind of begins to question those movements of mind, those ways in which we are, which are the opposite of freedom. And to do that in the small areas of your life, ordinary things, is a wonderful stepping stone that supports us finding it deeper and further along until the deeper areas of letting go, of freedom that Anapanasati is taking us to become more natural, more accessible, more understandable because of what we've kind of um, really taken in earlier on in the practice. So not just simply in meditation to experience this, but in other times of the day as well. Begin, if you really want this anapanasati to really go deeper and deeper in it, this movement towards freedom can become an ongoing sensitivity, an ongoing attention that we have. And it's not being self-preoccupied to do this. I hope you don't think it's selfish, because the freedom is kind of beginning to turn ourselves inside out, so that we're actually in the freedom. We are, I think, kind of more easily, naturally going to be more sensitive, more caring for the world around us. So, tranquility, letting go, release, relaxation, calmness, all kind of are always they're connected to this, the family of experiences, of movements that's connected to liberation. And to become a connoisseur of this, become sensitive to it, be informed by it, to be inspired by it, to be in touch with it regularly, maybe even so it becomes a little bit of a habit, so they can grow and develop in you. And so that may this practice that we do lead you to greater and greater experiences of freedom. And in doing so, may it be for your delight. So, thank you so much for today, and we'll continue this tomorrow.